It was March 22, 2011, when 24-year-old Rebecca vanished without a trace. This wasn't just any disappearance. It became one of the most baffling mysteries at sea and the first ever reported missing crew case for Disney Cruise Line. At 5:45 a.m. that morning, security cameras captured Rebecca on an internal phone in the crew area. She looked visibly distressed, wearing men's clothing, speaking briefly before a colleague asked if she was okay. Her reply, "Yeah, fine." Those would be the last words anyone ever heard from her. The next morning, the Disney Wonder woke up docked in Cozumel, Mexico, with over 2,000 passengers eager to explore the ancient ruins and swim with dolphins. On board were 950 crew members maintaining the illusion of fun for the guests. Many were unaware a full-scale search had been underway since 5 a.m. Crew combed every inch of the ship. The U.S. Coast Guard and the Mexican Navy joined the search. But despite hours of combing the waters and decks, no trace of Rebecca was ever found. Her family was notified that she had gone missing and they flew to Mexico immediately. What should have been a joyful vacation turned into a nightmare. Rebecca's father, Mike, later recalled the moment he realized his daughter was missing. He remembered staring at the TV in his hotel room in disbelief, watching a nightly news report about the search for a missing crew member aboard the Disney Wonder. But it wasn't until the news anchor mentioned Rebecca's name that he understood the horrifying truth. She was missing. The baffled investigators struggled to piece together what happened. Rebecca's belongings were found undisturbed in her cabin, but there was no sign of forced entry. She had vanished without a trace. There was no indication of foul play or a struggle. It was as though she had simply evaporated. Disney quickly declared the Bahamas responsible for the investigation since the ship was registered there. However, only one Bahamian officer boarded the Disney Wonder. He interviewed a handful of crew members, collected minimal statements, and left within a single day. No forensic evidence was released, no public findings, and, critically, passengers weren't even questioned. A week passed, then 2 weeks, then a month. Each day brought new theories, but no closer to finding Rebecca. Disney announced that Rebecca had likely fallen off the ship. The problem was, the Disney Wonder was equipped with safety measures designed to prevent anyone from falling overboard. The railing on the fifth deck where she was last seen was 6 feet tall, making it almost impossible for someone to accidentally fall. Plus, the weather that morning was calm. There were no rough waves or high winds. The captain's explanation was even more perplexing. According to him, Rebecca must have been on the phone when a rogue wave hit the ship, overbalanced her, knocking her into the ocean. Yet there was no record of such a wave that morning. And even if there had been, the protective wall was specifically designed to withstand even the most extreme weather conditions. It wouldn't have been washed away by water. Adding to the family's confusion, Disney showed them a pair of pink Hawaiian flip-flops claimed to be Rebecca's, which they identified immediately as belonging to another crew member. By then, desperate for answers, Rebecca's parents flew to the Bahamas to see the ship for themselves. They were flown into Nassau, then whisked away in a limousine to the port where the Disney Wonder was docked. To avoid drawing attention, the couple was taken through a side entrance and escorted into a private room. There they were shown just 5 minutes of CCTV footage, the same clip of Rebecca on the phone, looking stressed. No one from the company offered them condolences or assistance. They were simply handed a piece of paper with the ship's psychologist contact info written on it and left alone to come to terms with the fact their daughter was missing at sea, who vanished without a trace. Yet somehow, even in the face of such tragedy, Disney officials botched this situation. They promised to keep Rebecca's parents informed, but never did. Instead, the family had to seek out the media for help, sparking a public outcry. The family's lawyer blasted Disney, noting that the FBI hadn't even been notified. Rebecca's parents never even got to see the ship where their daughter went missing. They were denied a tour of the Disney Wonder, which begs the question, why? What were they hiding? When the ship finally set sail again, its course charted toward Bermuda. Once there, local authorities took over the search, but their efforts were hampered by the lack of cooperation from Disney. Rebecca's parents noticed that people connected to the investigation kept changing their stories, making it clear they didn't want to upset Disney. One crew member claimed to have seen Rebecca on the ship's CCTV camera after she disappeared. Another said they had seen her in the crew laundry room. Yet neither claim could be verified, and both were retracted soon after. In the end, the Bahamas concluded their investigation in less than 24 hours, declaring Rebecca an accidental casualty of the sea. But not everyone was convinced. Rebecca's family believed that Disney's priority was protecting their own reputation rather than finding Rebecca, dead or alive. They argued that Rebecca had not fallen overboard and demanded a thorough probe of her disappearance. A report from NBC News claimed that some crew members on board the Disney Wonder witnessed Rebecca being led away by two men, but this was never confirmed. Some suggested foul play. Perhaps Rebecca had been murdered and her body dumped into the ocean. But without any evidence, no one could say for sure. Months went by and the pain of not knowing consumed Rebecca's family. In the meantime, Disney moved on, sailing through the Caribbean with new passengers and new crew members. The website Cruisely uncovered a series of unsettling reports about the Disney Wonder in the years following Rebecca's disappearance. For instance, crew members reported strange occurrences, disembodied voices, flickering lights, and unexplained temperature changes. Could these be mere coincidences, or are they signs of something more sinister? Others wondered. As the pressure mounted, Disney released a statement saying, quote, "We continue to work cooperatively with local authorities whose investigation is ongoing. Our thoughts remain with Rebecca, her family and friends during this difficult time." Despite the support, Rebecca's parents felt let down. The family's lawyer criticized the official investigation, emphasizing the lack of urgency. Since the ship had sailed away before police could interview everyone on board, many crucial witnesses were never questioned. Additionally, the FBI didn't get involved because the ship was in international waters when the alleged crime occurred. Moreover, the lead investigator had close ties to Disney, serving as a consultant on previous projects. This raised concerns about potential bias and hindered the pursuit of justice. Adding to the intrigue, multiple crew members claimed that someone tried to sabotage the investigation. Evidence was tampered with, security footage mysteriously erased, and attempts were made to influence witness testimonies. Who was behind it, and why? Rebecca's family and the media pursued the story, but each lead seemed to end in a dead end. Even after offering a reward for information, no one came forward with any helpful details. It was almost as if Rebecca's disappearance had created a wall of silence. Over a decade has passed since Rebecca vanished. Now, I've read countless cases of missing people at sea. What makes Rebecca's case stand out is how every step of the way, it seems Disney was more concerned with saving face than seeking justice. Her disappearance sparked international debates about justice at sea, where cruise lines often operate under lax regulations designed to protect their profits, not their people. In 2016, Disney reached a confidential settlement with Rebecca's family. To this day, the details remain sealed. 14 years later, her case is still unsolved, and her parents are still waiting for the answers they were promised. Thanks to Rebecca's case, there's now a global push for stricter maritime laws, particularly for cruise ships. Hopefully, no other families will have to endure what Rebecca's endured. So here's my question to you. What do you think happened to Rebecca? Was this a tragic accident, a murder cover-up, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments. This was Case 2 of our Cruise Ship Disappearances series. Case 3 is coming soon, and this story is just as haunting. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share your theory in the comments below, because someone out there knows the truth.